My first cable blanket. If you've never knitted cables before, this is a great way to learn. Keep following the pattern until you get to C4B part. So B means your stitches are going to stay in the back. 4 just tells you how many stitches you're working with. So count out the 4 stitches and using a double pointed needle or a cable needle, move 2 stitches onto the cable needle. Now we're going to hold the stitches in the back of your knitting, like so. So the stitches on the cable needle stay in the back. We have 2 more stitches that we're going to work with, and this is just a regular knit stitch. Completely ignore the stitches on the cable needle and knit the 2 stitches. When you're done, take the stitches on the cable needle and knit them. Just a regular knit stitch. Here's the working yarn. Insert the needle, yarn over, pull it through the loop, and take it off. Just a regular knit stitch. And when you're done, you can put the cable needle aside until you need it again. And now you see the beginning of our first cable. Keep following the pattern. Next 2 stitches are just regular knit stitches. And then we have C4B again. Again, now we can use the cable needle. So we're working with 4 stitches. Slip the first 2 stitches onto the cable needle and then keep the cable needle with the stitches in the back. So you see it stays in the back, and knit the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. When you're done, now we are ready to work with the 2 stitches that are on the cable needle. Working yarn in, yarn over, pull it through, in, yarn over, pull it through the loop, and put the cable needle aside until we need it again. Next 2 stitches is just regular knit. And now we have C4B again. Slip the 2 stitches onto the needle, the cable needle, keep it in the back. In this example, we cast on less stitches than what's in your pattern, just for demonstration purposes only. And then just keep following the pattern for the rest of the remaining stitches in this row. And then just keep knitting. The next few rows are very simple. It's just knit and purl. And then when you get to the row where you're using C4F, you can see the difference here is that instead of keeping the cable needle with the stitches in the back of your knitting, they're just staying in front. But the rest is the same. We're working with 4 stitches. First 2 stitches are on the cable needle. You're knitting the next 2 stitches just the regular way. And then now we're ready to work with the 2 stitches on the cable needle. Again, knit 1 stitch, knit 1 more. Okay, now you can put the cable needle aside until the next C4F. So here we have just 2 stitches, regular knit stitches. And now we have C4F again. So slip the first 2 stitches onto the needle. Make sure it stays in front of you. And then the next 2 stitches are just regular knit stitches. Okay, now we're ready to knit the stitches off of the cable needle. In, yarn over, in, yarn over. Okay, when you're done, put the cable needle aside and keep going. And you can see the beginning of the cable. Slip the stitches onto the cable needle. Knit the next 2 stitches. Knit the stitches off of the cable needle. And keep going with the rest of the stitches in this row. And now we will demonstrate what you can do if you don't have a cable needle. So we're on the next row that uses C4B. Let's say you have an extra set of circular needles. Let's say there's no cable needle available, but you have an extra set of circulars. And you know they don't even have to be the same size. So the needle you're using for the blanket is size 19, but you have a spare pair that's size, let's say 15 or 13, 10, it doesn't matter in this case. So slip the 2 stitches onto the circular needle in exactly the same way as if it was a cable needle. Knit the next 2 stitches. And when you're ready for the next 2 that are sitting on the your spare pair of needles, just push it to the edge, to the tip of the needle, and knit those stitches. You see, since you're using that needle just to hold the stitches, the thickness of it doesn't really affect your pattern. So keep going. Let's say you don't have any spare needles handy at all. Well, you can use your finger. So in this case, for C4B, we're going to use the index finger because that's the easier one. So these are the 4 stitches you're working with. And you're going to take them off the needle and transfer onto the index finger on your left hand. And now you're going to knit the next 2 stitches. This takes a little bit of getting used to, but this is a great workaround in case you don't happen to have a cable needle. And then keep going. Then you can really see the pattern showing. It's a very beautiful cable pattern. And one more time, we will demonstrate how to use your finger to hold the stitches instead of a cable needle. So take the 2 stitches off the needle, carefully transfer them to your index finger on your left hand. Knit the next 2 stitches. slip them back onto the needle so you can knit them. And that's it. Keep going and follow the pattern. Now we will see how you can use a spare set of circulars or your thumb to do C4F. So here, let's say you don't have a cable needle, but you do have a spare set of circulars. And again, the size of that spare set doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the size of the needle that you're using. In this case, our main needle is size 19, and the spare set we have that we're going to use to hold the stitches is size 15, but it doesn't matter. So slip the 2 stitches onto your circular needle, hold the stitches in front of you, then knit the next 2 stitches, and carefully put the stitches toward the tip of the circular and knit them. Okay, put it aside until you knit it again and keep going with the pattern. And let's say you don't have any spare needles handy at all, so you can use your thumb. So for C4B, we used an index finger. Here, it's more comfortable to use the thumb of your left hand. So carefully transfer the 2 stitches onto your thumb. Knit the next 2 stitches. Now transfer them off of your thumb onto the needle and knit. Keep going with the pattern, and we'll demonstrate one more time how to use your thumb. So count the 4 stitches that you're going to work with. Take the first 2, slip them off, and put them on your thumb. And now knit the next 2 stitches, just a regular knit stitch. 1, 2. Now transfer the stitches back onto the needle. And again, this will take some getting used to, but once you're used to it, it's so easy to do. And then keep following the pattern. You can, at this point, you can really see the cables showing. And this is the finished blanket. This is a baby blanket, but you can make really any size blanket. So this blue one uses 3 balls of yarn. And for the pink, it's 4 balls. They're the same width, but the pink is longer in length. Once you get used to this pattern, it's such an easy one to do and a great way to learn cables.